make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? It's your host, the most, that's the most. JerCrispy, welcome back to another video. How a party animal become a NFL legend. Oh, look at Gronk, man. That's a party animal right there. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media gonna pop. It's gonna be on the screen. We're on the road to 500. Let's get it.
Gronk was built different. While others spent years training like machines, strict diets, early mornings, hours of film, Gronk did things his own way. While others were hitting the film room, he was partying. While they were meal prepping, he's shotgunning beers. And somehow, when Sunday rolled around, he dominated. In fact, the only thing crazier than his off-field antics was his on-field greatness. So, how did a guy who partied harder than a frat president become arguably the greatest tight end in NFL history? Well, heading into the 2010 NFL Draft, Gronk was easily the most talented tight end. At 6'6" and 260 pounds, he was a nightmare matchup. Too fast for linebackers and too strong for safeties. On talent alone, he was a first-round lock. But NFL teams had two major concerns. First, his back. Before his junior season of college even started, Gronk suffered a severe back injury that required surgery. He missed the entire year, and suddenly his future in football was in question. A back injury for a player his size was a major red flag for NFL teams. And as if that wasn't enough of a hurdle, then came concern number two, his off-the-field lifestyle. Gronk had always been, a free spirit. In the college recruitment process, Gronk had something like 65 scholarship offers, and his dad asked, "Where are you going? Syracuse? Ohio State?" Gronk goes, "University of Arizona." His dad asked, "Why there?" And Gronk responded by saying, "Dad, if you ever went to a pool party at Arizona, you'd understand." So NFL teams weren't just worried about his injury history. They were worried about whether he would take being a professional athlete seriously. And then, during a pre-draft visit to the New England Patriots, Gronk made a standout first impression by falling asleep on the floor. Belichick couldn't believe it. Neither could offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien, who later tested Gronk's football IQ by drawing a play on the whiteboard, erasing it, and asking what the receivers did. And Gronk responded in the most Gronk way possible.
He's like, "All right, can you name what the wide receivers did, like rename their route and what their responsibility was?" I was like, "Bro, I have no clue. I couldn't even think." And then he's like, "What do you do?" I was like, "You just throw me the ball, Billy. I'll make some guys miss. I'll run over some people." He's like, "But you don't know the play." I was like, "I don't need to know the play. You throw me the ball."
Belichick had seen plenty of prospects over the years, but this was something entirely different. For most teams, that meeting would have been a deal breaker. A lazy
Yeah, I ain't lying to you, though. Yeah, that probably would have got cut, but my nigga Gronk actually good. I ain't lying to you, though. Ain't nothing wrong with being a good tight end. 260 pounds, good. And his size, too, and he can run.
tight end with a serious injury and a love for partying? Yeah, no thanks. And due to the concerns, he did slide all the way to the second round in the draft. But at pick number 42, the New England Patriots took the gamble. The same team known for having structure and discipline and a no-nonsense coach.
The New England Patriots select Rob Gronkowski,
Hey!
tight end, Arizona.
Just drafted the biggest party animal in NFL history. Right out of the gate, Gronk dominated training camp. Then came his NFL debut against the Bengals, and he caught a 1-yard touchdown. Boom. Just like that, the Brady-Gronk connection was born. But through his first 8 games, Gronk only played around 15 to 20 plays per game. And it wasn't because he didn't have the talent to play at an NFL level. He just couldn't remember the playbook. But then magic happened. In his first game playing the majority of the snaps, Gronk went for 3 touchdowns, becoming the youngest rookie in NFL history to ever do so. From then on, the Patriots went on a tear, winning 7 straight games to finish the season, and Gronk played a big part in it. He finished the year with 42 catches, 546 yards, and a
Okay, 42 catches?
franchise rookie record, 10 touchdowns. But don't get it twisted. Off the field, he was still the same old Gronk. Between games, while everyone else is grinding, Gronk became a fan favorite, hitting up Boston's nightclubs and partying the night away with the same people who would watch him dominate on Sundays. In fact, Gronk revealed that he never watched film, and that I have people who watch it for me. at Tom Brady. So basically, Gronk would just be out partying or something, and then Brady would just tell him everything he needed to know for their upcoming game. It was an unconventional system, but as long as Gronk showed up, played hard, and delivered on the field, he could do whatever he wanted. The question was, could he continue his level of production in his second year? And from the first snap of the year, it was clear that he was a man on a mission. In the first 3 games of the season, Gronk caught 5 touchdowns, and his signature celebration became legendary, the Gronk Spike, which was basically just him chucking the football as hard as he possibly could at the ground. In just weeks, he went from a promising young tight end to one of the most dominant offensive weapons in the NFL. He wasn't just catching passes, he was running through defenders, making crazy blocks, and spiking footballs so hard they practically left dents in the field. In a Week 14 game against Washington, Gronk put up a 6-catch, 160-yard, 2-touchdown performance, officially breaking the record for most touchdowns by a tight end in
okay. Dan was one of the Saints player too in 2013 season. That was crazy.
A single season, and he still had 3 games left. By the time the season was over, his numbers were ridiculous. 90 catches for 1,327 yards, most ever by a tight end at the time, and an NFL tight end record 17 receiving touchdowns. He was must-watch TV, and off the field, he was still the same guy, partying like a rock star, showing up to press conferences shirtless, and living by his favorite rule.
Yo soy fiesta.
But behind all the fun and wild celebrations, Gronk was a relentless competitor who knew how to win. With his went 13-3, bulldozing their way to Super Bowl 46, and he'd done everything possible to put the Patriots in a position to win it all. But as the Super Bowl approached, disaster struck. In the AFC Championship game, he suffered a high ankle sprain. For most players, this would have been a season-ending injury. But this was the Super Bowl, and Gronk wasn't missing it. So he fought through the pain, suited up, and played. But it was clear from the start that he wasn't himself. The explosive cuts, gone. The power, limited. And the Giants took full advantage.
Intercepted by the Giants!
87 is a decoy. He is a decoy. He's a bona fide decoy.
Keeping him in check with just 2 catches for 26 yards. Despite that, the Patriots still put up a fight. Down 21-17 in the final seconds, Tom Brady launches a Hail Mary into the end zone. The ball bounces off hands, and Gronk, limping on one good leg, was inches away from making the game-winning catch. But it hit the turf. Game over. And after the game, Gronk received some hate, not because of his poor play or even the missed catch, but because he was seen partying just hours later.
You danced on stage, but you couldn't run full speed in the actual game.
Doesn't seem like the loss is affecting him that much. Yeah,
but my nigga had a high sprained ankle. We is not gonna talk about. Like, I hate how people that don't never touch the sport, never touch a football, never touch the grass in their day in their life, and never suited up, put some cleats on, and never got tackled before, and ever got hurt before, talking shit. And who was that guy who just got interviewed? He's talking about, like shut your ass up.
pretty upsetting.
Though if anyone thought the loss and the hate would slow him down, they didn't know Gronk. He was always carefree and confidently himself, which is something everyone aspires to be. And that's why this episode of Blitz is brought teams here to win it all. At the time for a tight end, and you know he had to celebrate.
Just another day in the summer of Gronk.
He appeared on a dating show, was on the cover of ESPN's Body Issue, and partied like a madman. But when the NFL season rolled around, he was back to dominating. Through the first 10 games, he was a nightmare for defenses, racking up 748 yards and 10 touchdowns. No linebacker could keep up with him. No safety could outmuscle him. He was a cheat code. But then the injury concerns he had coming out of college came back to haunt him. In Week 11, he broke his forearm. That injury sidelined him for 5 weeks. But in true Gronk fashion, he wasn't done yet, because he made it back for Week 17 and helped the Patriots crush the Texans in the divisional round. But in the AFC Championship game against the Ravens, he landed awkwardly on his arm, re-injuring the fracture. And without him, the Patriots offense lost one of their biggest weapons, and they fell to the Ravens, bringing their season to an end. Then, once his arm finally healed, he had back surgery for a lingering issue. But finally, in Week 7 of the 2013 season, when Gronk returned, it was like he never left. In his first game back, he put up 114 yards on 8 catches against the Jets. 2 weeks later, he torched the Steelers for 143 yards and a touchdown. The Patriots were rolling, and with Gronk back, they looked like legitimate Super Bowl contenders again. Until Week 14, when Gronk took a brutal blow to the knee, and the bad injury luck struck again.
Shaken up.
Torn ACL, torn MCL, season over. After 2 years of injuries and setbacks, would Gronk ever be the same again? You wouldn't think so, but somehow in 2014, he got even better. In Week 8, he torched the Bears for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a brutal stiff arm and a ridiculous one-handed grab that reminded everybody why he was the most dominant tight end in football. By season's end, Gronk had racked up 1,124 yards and 12 touchdowns, winning Comeback Player of the Year and being selected to the first All-Pro team. But this time, the real magic happened in the playoffs. In Super Bowl 49, Gronk came up clutch, hauling in a touchdown just before halftime. And New England went on to win one of the craziest Super Bowls ever, thanks to Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, because if they never did that shit, bro, they would have never won this, bro. If they would have run in there with Marshawn Lynch, they would have lost this.
Iconic goal line interception.
Intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
But make no mistake, without Gronk, the Patriots don't even get there. After 2 years of injuries, doubts, and setbacks, Gronk was finally a champion. And for the first time in a long time, he'd be entering the offseason off the injury report.
I just worked my tail off all year long to be where we are now, and it just feels awesome to go through a whole season healthy, come out healthy after the Super Bowl win.
So, to open the 2015 season, he was more dominant than ever. He started the year with another 3-touchdown game.
And there's Gronkowski again, touchdown.
Defenses tried everything, double teams, jamming him at the line, even flat out tackling him early, but nothing worked. Gronk was too big, too fast, and too strong. By the end of the year, he had put up 1,176 yards and 11 touchdowns, making first-team All-Pro for the second straight year. In the divisional round against the Chiefs, he hauled in 2 touchdowns, helping the Patriots advance. Then, in the AFC Championship, he went off for 144 yards, including a clutch 4th-down grab that nearly saved the game.
Goes down the field to Gronkowski, and he has the football.
But it wasn't enough. The Patriots fell to the Broncos, ending their season. Still, Gronk had done everything possible to carry the offense. And in 2016, he was ready to help bring another championship to New England, but injuries halted his ambitions before they could come to fruition. Because in Week 10 against the Seahawks, he took a brutal hit to the chest from Earl Thomas.
Yeah, that's Earl Thomas, all right. That nigga do be hitting hard. And look who on the ground. Can't tell it. Wow. That is the Legion of Doom, though. You gotta give him that. You gotta give him Legion of Doom with 2 different people.
Lung. He missed the next game, but fought his way back onto the field in Week 12 against the Jets. But while running a route downfield, Gronk felt something in his back give out.
Just after the Patriots' last offensive drive, we saw tight end Rob Gronkowski head to the locker room with a back injury.
The injury was severe, and he needed season.
Oh, what up? Videos.
Ending back surgery, which was the 3rd major back operation of his career.
Rob Gronkowski, the Patriots' star tight end, is reportedly set to have back surgery, which could cost him 8 weeks.
The Patriots went on to win Super Bowl 51 in legendary fashion, pulling off the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history against the Falcons. But Gronk, he had to watch it all from the sidelines. You better believe that he still participated in the party afterward, though, but he wasn't out there when it mattered most. And after yet another major injury, people wondered, was this the beginning of the end?
Time to trade him?
And you could get a haul for him. I'm approaching 30, multiple surgeries, but a lot of them on his forearm. Who cares about a forearm surgery?
I haven't used mine in days.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't trade him, though.
Smart thing to say. Don't trade him because they ended up winning another one, and then they went to, he gonna probably gonna say it.
Because.
Well, Gronk silenced all those doubts in 2017. In Week 2, he torched the Saints for 116 yards and a touchdown. A few weeks later,
you ain't had to say it to the Saints, man.
Went off for 83 yards and 2 scores against the Jets.
Low-key, the Saints and the Patriots are supposed to play against each other. They're not supposed to play against each other. I remember that.
And as the season went on, he was the same powerhouse we'd all grown to love. By the end of the year, Gronk had racked up 1,084 yards and 8 touchdowns, leading all tight ends in yards despite missing 2 games. And he was back on the first-team All-Pro list once again. Then came the playoffs. In the AFC Championship against the Jags, Gronk took a nasty helmet-to-helmet hit from Barry Church, knocking him out of the game with a concussion. The Patriots still pulled off the win, but his status for the Super Bowl was suddenly in question. But this was Gronk we're talking about. So, of course he played. The Patriots faced off against the Eagles in a record-breaking turnout. Tom Brady threw for over 500 yards, and Gronk was his go-to target when it mattered most. He caught 2 touchdowns, including a clutch fourth-quarter score that put the Patriots in position to win.
Reaching for a touchdown.
Only this time, it wasn't enough. Despite Gronk's monster performance of 9 catches for 116 yards and 2 TDs,
oh yeah,
the
I think they lost this one because I remember Tom Brady was trying to run and get a touchdown. He didn't even catch it, bro.
Lost 41-33. Then, following the season, the Patriots decided that they were ready to move on from Gronk. Bill Belichick was known for letting go of players even after they had a great season to cash in on their value before it was too late. And between Gronk's age and injury history, the Pats came to the conclusion that it was time. So, before the 2018 season, they agreed on a deal to trade him to the Detroit Lions. And then the unexpected happened. When they called Gronk to inform him about the trade, he said,
No, I'm retired. How can you trade me? And I stayed on the Patriots.
So, 2 days later, the trade was called off. But then, when training camp rolled around, there was Gronk. Not retired, just not interested in playing for the Lions, who had been the laughingstock of the NFL for decades. However, something was different. After years of brutal injuries and relentless hits, Gronk's body was breaking down. And for the first time in his career, he looked human.
Rob Gronkowski leave his hands on the party bus this summer. What's going on with the drops out there?
Yeah, it's strange. Gronk especially. He seems to be dropping a pass almost every practice out there.
He missed 3
Again, 2 people who never touched a ball in a single day life. Never strapped up, never put pads, never put a mouthpiece, never put a helmet on. Never did nothing into their life. We human. Everybody drop ball.
Games and finished the regular season with only 682 yards and 3 touchdowns, his lowest numbers since his rookie year. Still, when the playoffs arrived, Gronk did what he always did, made plays and was the security blanket that helped lead New England back to the big game. The Super Bowl against the Rams was an ugly, low-scoring affair.
Bruh, they had to be the most worst Super Bowl I ever saw. The Rams got their ass fucking whooped.
Points were at a premium, but with the score tied 3-3 in the fourth quarter, Brady needed a playmaker. And who did he turn to? On the biggest play of the game, Gronk ran a seam route that hauled in a diving 29-yard catch, setting up the game's only touchdown. It was vintage Gronk. In the biggest moment, he made the biggest play. The Patriots won 13-3, earning Gronk his 3rd Super Bowl ring. But his celebration may have gotten a little out of hand this time, because he used the Lombardi Trophy as a baseball bat. A move that left a noticeable dent in it. Then Gronk shocked the NFL by actually announcing his retirement, walking away from the game at just 29 years old.
But I want to be clear to my fans. I needed to recover. I was not in a good place. Football was bringing me down, and I didn't like it. And I was losing that joy in life, like the joy. I'm sorry right now, but dang,
After 9 seasons, countless records, and an unmatched mix of dominance and personality, the biggest party animal in NFL history was calling it quits. At least for now. For a year, Gronk was living his best life in retirement, partying, filming commercials, and even trying his hand at WWE. But if there was one thing or one person that could bring him back to football, it was Tom Brady. When Brady shocked the world by signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Tom Brady, barring anything unforeseen, is expected to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Rumors of Gronk returning immediately resurfaced, and after a month of keeping us all waiting, Gronk made his decision. One last ride.
Rob Gronkowski, the fact that it does appear his rights will be traded to Tampa Bay and that he will be reunited with Tom Brady.
The thing is, when Gronk unretired, he actually had to be traded to the Bucs because the Patriots still had him under contract. But Bill Belichick and the Patriots did right by him, making the trade happen. And during the 2020 season, Gronk was primarily used as a blocker. After all, he had spent the last decade embarrassing some of the league's best edge rushers, and often blocking better than an actual lineman. Even then, he still put up 623 yards and 7 touchdowns. But the real reason he came back was to chase another Super Bowl. The Buccaneers stormed through the playoffs, setting up a Super Bowl showdown with the Kansas City Chiefs. It was Brady versus Mahomes. But on the biggest stage, Gronk stole the show. First quarter, touchdown Gronk. Next quarter, another touchdown Gronk.
Gronkowski again
By halftime, he had already torched the Chiefs for 67 yards and 2 scores, helping Tampa Bay build a massive lead. The Bucs dominated, winning 31-9. And for the 4th time in his career, Gronk was a Super Bowl.
And when I had to, man, to this day, I had to freaking run the basketball court. Me and my homies, we had to run. Because we picked the Chiefs. Man.
You're too tidy. You're too tidy. I was saving up for the Super Bowl. You did it all!
But the party wasn't over yet. Gronk had so much fun, he decided to run it back for another year. And despite missing 4 games from a punctured lung, his numbers were actually better than the year before. He finished the 2021 season with 802 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 12 games. Unfortunately, the Bucs' run would end in the divisional round at the hands of the eventual Super Bowl champion LA Rams. And after the season, Brady retired, then unretired.
Just 41 days after hanging up his cleats, he's coming back for a 23rd season.
But Gronk, he was done for good this time. There were rumors of him unretiring and going to play for the Broncos, but they were nothing more than rumors.
I'm happily retired. I actually picked up pickleball. I'm still competing. I'm still winning, so I don't even need to go back to football.
Years of injuries and his wrecking ball playing style had finally caught up with him, and his off-field hobbies probably didn't help his longevity either. But Gronk was never meant to stick around the NFL for a long time. He was just there for a good time. And what a good time he had. When the lights shined the brightest, he always delivered. At the time of his retirement, he held the record for the most postseason receiving touchdowns by a tight end with 15. Brady and Gronk's 90 touchdowns are the most ever by a quarterback tight end duo. And there's no doubt that Rob Gronkowski is the most dominant tight end to ever play. Over 11 legendary seasons, Gronk racked up 621 receptions, 9,286 receiving yards, 92 touchdowns, and 4 Super Bowl rings. Whether it was running through defenders, spiking the football, or celebrating wins like only he could, Gronk never stopped having fun. And that's really the duality of Rob Gronkowski. Fearless on the field, but the most fun-loving and free guy off it. We'll never see another player like Gronk.
I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Follow our social media. They pop on the screen. See y'all when I see y'all. Lay out to the bottom of my heart. We're on the road to 500 and I'm out.